The sky over Earth darkened in a way that no storm could ever mimic. It was a deep, unnatural shadow that stretched across continents, swallowing cities in quiet unease. People paused in their routines, staring upward, sensing something was coming, something beyond comprehension. Satellites began to flicker, communications failed, and the air seemed to thrum with an energy that could be felt but not seen. He stood on the observation deck, staring at the horizon where the first shapes appeared. They were massive, impossibly large, gliding silently across the atmosphere. Their silhouettes were unlike anything Earth had ever seen, sleek, angular, yet organic in some way, reflecting light that should not have existed. Each movement was deliberate, as though they were scanning the planet with intelligence and patience. There was no announcement, no warning, only the sudden presence of the alien fleet and the collective realization that humanity was no longer the dominant force in its sky. Governments scrambled jets, but they were insignificant. Radar systems went haywire, signals distorted by the sheer size of the incoming vessels. It was the calm before chaos, a moment heavy with tension that pressed down like the weight of 1,000 invisible hands. If you want to know what happened next and how humanity faced this unprecedented threat, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The story is just beginning, and each moment is filled with suspense, mystery, and secrets that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Every subscription ensures you don't miss a single revelation about the first encounter with an alien fleet above Earth. The largest ship hovered over the Pacific Ocean, a dark monolith that seemed to drink in the light around it. Its surface rippled as if alive, pulsating in patterns too precise to be random. Sensors picked up energy emissions that defied physics, vibrations that resonated in the bones of anyone nearby. People in nearby cities felt a strange pull, a fear that was instinctive and unexplainable. No communication came from the vessels. No signal, no beam, nothing but presence. And yet it was clear they were aware. Awareness was embedded in the way the ships moved, in the silence they carried, in the pressure of expectation that built across the planet. And somewhere within that presence, humanity felt it was being studied. Every decision, every reaction was recorded in ways that humans could not detect. He noticed shadows moving across the command deck as officials and scientists whispered theories no one could verify. Everyone speculated, but no one had answers. Then the first pulse of alien light stretched across the atmosphere, a glow that made the stars themselves pale. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time, a reminder that Earth was no longer alone. And in that moment, the realization settled over him and everyone on the planet. The era of unchallenged dominance was over. The sky belonged to something else now, something far beyond comprehension. The first alien fleet had arrived, and the night it brought would change everything. The days that followed the fleet's arrival were unlike anything humanity had experienced. Entire cities watched the skies as the alien ships remained motionless, hovering with an eerie patience. Satellites sent fragmented images back to command centers, but the clarity was inconsistent, as if the fleet itself was interfering with technology. Military leaders convened emergency meetings, yet no plan seemed adequate. Jets were useless, missiles were ineffective, and attempts to communicate were met with silence. He moved among the scientists and officers in the observation hub, feeling the weight of the unknown pressing on everyone. There was talk of scanning the fleet with new forms of energy, of sending probes that would likely never return. The sheer scale of the ships dwarfed anything Earth had ever built. Some of the largest vessels could contain entire continents in their interior space if translated to earthly dimensions. Their engines emitted no heat, no sound, and yet the air seemed alive with their presence. Every time he looked at the monitors, he noticed subtle movements, patterns that could have been random but felt deliberate. A rotation here, a shift there, a glow that pulsed in synchronization with something he could not detect. It was as though the fleet itself was alive, observing, adjusting, waiting. The scientists whispered about alien intelligence, but the fear was in the silence, the absolute knowledge that these beings were far beyond comprehension. If you are curious about how humanity began to respond to this unprecedented threat and want to uncover the hidden strategies in the first alien encounter, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The story is just unfolding, and every moment is filled with suspense, revelations, and discoveries that no one could have predicted. Every subscription ensures you stay with us as the events escalate. Night fell again, and the fleet glimmered faintly against the dark sky. There was no movement toward Earth, no attack, and yet the sense of tension was unbearable. Communications between nations grew strained. Fear bred rumors, and rumors bred paranoia. He noticed that even the most experienced leaders acted cautiously, as though every decision could trigger an unforeseen response. Then the first anomaly appeared. Across the globe, localized weather systems shifted inexplicably near the largest ship. Storms formed within minutes. Electrical grids surged without cause, and strange auroras danced across the skies. Scientists scrambled to explain the phenomenon, but nothing fit the models. It was clear the fleet was testing, probing, and demonstrating capabilities far beyond humanity's understanding. He realized that this was the first true moment of contact. Not through dialogue, but through observation and demonstration. The aliens had arrived not to negotiate or destroy immediately, but to study and measure. Every flicker of light, every shift in the sky, every pulse of energy was a message, though its meaning remained elusive. Humanity had been observed for decades, perhaps centuries, and now the test had begun in earnest. As he watched the skies, a chill ran through him. The first alien fleet was more than a threat. It was a revelation. And the question that haunted him and everyone else was simple but terrifying. What would they do next, and how much of humanity's world would survive the answer? The world held its breath. Cities lay quiet under the shadow of the alien fleet, as though humanity itself had been asked to pause. Governments tried to maintain control, but the sense of helplessness was universal. People stared upward, hearts pounding, waiting for a sign, any sign of intent. The alien vessels moved almost imperceptibly, shifting in ways that suggested calculation rather than aggression. Every motion, every pulse of light seemed designed to provoke thought, fear, and awe all at once. He stood at the observation hub, scanning the feeds from every continent. Each camera captured the fleet differently, revealing strange textures and shifting geometries that defied physics. No one could explain how the ships maintained their position, how they bent light, or why their presence caused interference in every electronic device on Earth. It was clear now that this was not a reconnaissance mission in the usual sense. This was a demonstration of absolute power. If you want to see how humanity responded to the first real test from an alien fleet and follow every mysterious moment of this encounter, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The story is reaching its climax, and every revelation will leave you on the edge of your seat. Every subscription ensures you witness the full account as it unfolds. Then the first signal arrived. Not a sound, not a broadcast, but a pulse of energy that radiated across the globe. Instruments recorded it, but it could not be translated into conventional data. The fleet's intention was no longer ambiguous. The message was unmistakable. They were aware, observing, and now inviting or testing response. Across the world, scientists scrambled to understand the pattern, to decode the meaning. Yet the pulse was elegant, precise, and intentionally enigmatic. He realized that humanity had been placed in a position it had never faced before, to act without certainty, to make decisions without understanding. Every choice carried risk, and every hesitation was noted. The fleet was alive in a way humanity could not measure, responding to thought, anticipation, and even emotion. It was a test not of weapons or technology, but of humanity itself. Night fell once more, and the sky shimmered with the fleet's strange light. People had stopped looking for aggression. They now watched for understanding. It was no longer a battle of firepower, but a confrontation of will, awareness, and adaptability. The alien ships had arrived to measure, to observe, and perhaps to learn what humanity was capable of. As the hours stretched, he felt the weight of history pressing down. This moment would define generations, shape strategies, and perhaps decide survival. And yet beneath the tension there was a spark, an undeniable resilience. Humanity's ability to adapt, to question, to respond without full comprehension, was now being observed. The first alien fleet hung over Earth silently, a reminder of power beyond imagining. Yet in that silence was possibility. Every choice humanity would make in the coming hours mattered. And as he looked up at the glowing monoliths in the sky, he understood one thing clearly. This encounter had only begun, and the night, once quiet, would shape the future of every life on the planet.